What is up, everybody? Welcome back to AyyScare Plays Front Office Football 8, Season 2, Episode 3. And I first want to thank both the comment section and the Front Office Football subreddit because I posted the question that I ended Season 2, or Episode 2 with, and that was, what is the plan for the quarterback situation moving forward? As a reminder here, we have Dion Knotts, and we also have Bart Hines. And despite, if we just look at the numbers on the right of each of their little bar graphs here, it would seem relatively obvious that we should go Bart Hines. I mean, he's basically double the point value of Knotts. That being said, both in the YouTube comments and on the subreddit, everybody was like, hey, you know what? Knotts seems actually like a decent option. A number of his bars are actually really good. He's proven himself as a starter. He's 9-6. But all in all, if we had to put this to like a number vote, there were more votes that basically said Hines is the better long-term option. We might be facing, a year or two of him really struggling because he hasn't gotten much starting time. But the overall numbers point to that we should be moving forward with Hines. So, with that in mind, that is going to impact how we're going to handle this episode. Because what we really need to do is, if we want Hines to flourish, we're going to need to build a team around him that is going to allow us to, see him become successful in the league. I think one of the Reddit comments said actually, like, if you let Hines go through free agency, you will almost certainly see him go all pro for another team. So hopefully we're not going to let that happen. We're going to try to keep this guy and make things work. So let's go ahead and get started here. All right. Coming off of a 8-8 season, which means we probably have like somewhere around like a pick first 1S. Wait, what the heck does this say? Wait a second. So I have 8 total picks. First 15-11. I'm trying to remember. Does that mean that I have 2 picks going into this year? We might just see this here in a little bit. Let's real quick check 2 things, because now I am getting myself mixed up here. Did we lose anybody here? We lost one of our corners, but that shouldn't matter. Our corner game is definitely an area that we need to work on. Let's actually look real quick at our unit cohesion. Let's see what this says. Okay. So our offensive line is actually one of the best in the league. Defensive front, we're like a top 10. Secondary, we're considered a top 10, but our secondary is not good. And then our passing will hopefully get up there. Okay, let's see what this really quick says. First, what the hell does this say? Am I just like completely blanking here? First 15. And it looks like we do pick 11. I legitimately have no idea what this 15 is referring to. If somebody in the comments knows what this is, please let me know. First, I'm assuming that that's 15 and not like IS. It could be first is 11. Maybe that's what it says. I don't know. The text there is a little bit weird. Either way, I'm planning to just go into this with the same. Let me remind myself where we are at. I now have not shot an episode of this in about 2 weeks, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of reminding myself here. Okay, our head coach focuses on secondary. there really isn't a head coach towards the top that's QB, so I'm just going to stick with the best option there for us. Here we're focused on running back, which part of me thinks that we should potentially throw in a quarterback-centric coach. However, our running game is actually really good. We have Mo Rose, who actually we are losing to free agency. We'll see how that goes. I might actually franchise that guy. And then we have Wing here, who's a very highly rated fullback. Interesting. Okay. But since we're already in this window, we definitely need something to bolster wide receiving core. We also definitely need to figure out something for our secondary. Lee Wayne or Wayne Lee here. I think that he'll actually pan out. He has a decent rating, but we really need another highly rated player down in this secondary region. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator is also at the top of the list. Here is where I might switch to a quarterback. Let's see. Here is the other option we have. He's not good at player development, though. Okay. No other quarterback coach near the top here. Might be worth it for me to go with a wide receiver one. Let's look at this real quick. We have a good center. We have a young tackle coming up. We actually have 2 young tackles that should be getting better. Our guard game isn't great. Okay. Yeah, I think that I'm going to focus on getting in the wide receiver coach. Cool stuff. Set ticket prices, recommend prices, submit. All right, before we begin free agency, let's take a quick look through here. So Mo Rose, the only thing is, right, this guy has extremely good ratings. He's idolized popularity-wise, things like that. He's never really had a great season. I mean, like last season, he averaged 4.7, which was awesome. But he only played in 8 games. In those 8 games, he did have 2 where he went for over 100 yards. And those are the 2 that he started. Was he facing injuries last year or something? Yeah, he had a serious ankle injury and a knee injury. He actually is getting injured quite a bit considering our injury ratings. We do have some money to mess with this year, so it might be a good year to franchise him just to see if we can get something, better out of him. Let's take a look at this real quick. Really good nose tackle. We're paying him a crap ton, but I think I'm okay with it. Doing decently. His numbers did drop from the year before, but here's a guy that might be worth dropping. Although, just 2 years ago, he was second team. I'm guessing that came from those 10 sacks. Here's a guy that's going to be worth dropping or restructuring. We're going to be paying him a lot, though. Oh, we're paying this dude a shizzy ton. Why are we paying this guy this much? That is on me. This is the guy that I Signed last year in free agency. I am going to release him, though. I'm going to go ahead and cut him. Good center. Our best wide receiver for now, so we're going to keep him. This guard is definitely struggling, and he has a conflict. We should actually look at that, too. Strong conflict with Keith Shaw. Who's our right tackle? Now, Keith Shaw is not even a starter for us. This guard is also not the best. He's also older. He's been with us as our starting guard for a long time now. But if he has a strong conflict, I want to get rid of that. Where's Keith Shaw at again? He didn't do well his rookie year, but that is a rookie year. Last year he didn't even play. Was he injured? No. Alright, we're releasing him then. I would rather fix things that way. Okay. Playing time. Top guy angry, he's gone. Unhappy. And he's probably not going to see starting time with this guy. So you're unhappy, we will release you. Another unhappy. This guy actually might have trade potential. So let's see what we can do with him. And then we have one disgruntled who we want to keep this guy around. Okay, so we have a couple of things that we're going to need to deal with. And I am going to go ahead and franchise this guy. We're going to give him 1 year to prove himself, and then pay him from there if it is deemed necessary. All right. So let's get through some re-signings here. This guy's a really good nose tackle. Let's see if he'll do a team deal for us. And it looks like he will do a team deal. Perfect. Right. Those two are on rookie deals. I'm not going to touch either of them. This center, we just released the guy that could bite into his playtime. He's not giving us a team deal, so we'll let him go for a year. This tight end, I think we do need to go ahead and give an offer to. Let's just quickly look at his blocking. Okay, he's not put out too many blocking numbers, but his receiving numbers look good for a tight end. And his bars are very good for blocking, so let's see what he's asking for. Need to pull up my so trusty franchise player salaries. Back to that tight end. Negotiate. 23. Okay, so he's giving us like a top 10 deal. That sounds good to me. All right, here's where we do need to figure this out a little bit. Because right now we have... Where's that young guy that looked like he was going to be good? This guy. Marshall. I'm not sure how you say that last name. So we're going to call him Marshall. Marshall and Antonio. So Antonio has been with the team since he was drafted, and he's always been our starting defensive end. He does have a 64 endurance, which is pretty darn good, which does leave this guy a little bit on the outs. So unless we're seeing this guy coming in because of an injury or something like that, he's probably not going to get that great of play time. But I would rather him be on the bench than trade him. So looks like we got a decent punter here. He was a first-team punter 2 years ago. We'll go ahead and pay him whatever he wants, basically. Here is another defensive end. Actually, that brings up a point. I wonder if this guy... I wonder if one of those two could swap to left. What's this guy want? Oh, that's nothing for how far along this guy is. So let's go ahead, take him. This corner is the best corner we have. And he's not asking for much, so we will sign him to that. So wonderful looking linebacker. How's our kicker doing? Not good enough for me to re-sign him. Yeah, we'll just leave him where he's at for now. All right, then down here is where we typically... It's a good team deal. We're not going to re-sign too many of these guys. This guy actually had, considering he only had 19 catches, he was averaging about 5 yards after the catch. He's a smaller guy. Go ahead and sign him. I don't know if he'll still be on the team later, but we'll sign him. Our long snapper, get him locked in. And then actually might go ahead and just sign this running back. He only had 12 attempts. He can't really base much on that. Never mind. So, let me just see here. No, I feel like I can get something better off of free agency. Especially like late free agency or something like that. Right. Okay, I think that puts me where I want to be. Now. Ooh, look at this. Proven, great looking quarterback is up. And those numbers the past 2 years are delicious. Look at that. He had 20 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 21 to 8 interceptions. Really good ratings. I'm actually surprised he didn't have more yards, but still, this is really nice. He's an overall an 86, which is incredible. He has multiple bars at 100. He was all team first 2 seasons ago. All right, this guy is going to be going, and he was first round, first pick. Yeah, this dude's going to be going for a lot of money. Yep, he's asking to be top paid, which is basically what I would expect. That does open up a can of worms, doesn't it? Here's an older but proven wide receiver. He's only been in the league 7 years and he's 32. So let's just see here. He would be asking for Actually, he's only asking to be like a top 20, which is probably exactly where he should be. Man, that quarterback throws a wrench in things because, well, let's put it this way, right? Even if we do get that quarterback, which I'm not even sure we're going to go for him, but if we get him, we still need to provide him some weapons. So we should put in an offer on this guy. This guy is older. He's 32. So let's put in a 2-year offer on him. Offer him $20 million. Then pay him $20 million the first year. Oops. Had one too many zeros there. And then we'll offer him 28 the second year. And then just to make this a nice number, we'll give him that. Oh, he's demanding a 3-year. All right. I'm going to let him go then. Let's look at these safeties. This guy's coming off of an ACL, which is terrifying. This guy has had some injuries, especially in the past 2 years. Looks like a nice option, though. This could be a good guy to bring in. What's he asking for? He's not actually asking that much. He's asking to be basically a top 20. Let's actually see if we can get this guy. We'll pay him a little bit more up front. Let's do 12, 14, 18. We'll do the $2 million a year upgrade for a 5-year contract for $100 million. If that boosts our secondary as much as it looks like it could, I will be very happy. All right. Oh, he didn't. Okay, let's take a quick look at. He did not sign. He's most interested in an ED, which I guess is New England. And they are offering him a little bit more than I did, as is Seattle. All right. If you watched season 1, when I say season 1, I mean the first 20 years that I did about like 6 months ago. Secondary was always a problem for us. It looks like I am in the range of what these other teams were willing to pay. So I think it is going to be worth it for me to try to jump this a little bit higher. I'm going to offer him an extra $2 million every single year. Actually, I'm going to keep his sign-in bonus the same, then offer him an additional $2 million each year. And then if he doesn't sign this, then it is what it is. This does now bring up the question of what do we do with this quarterback? This is definitely this. Well, it's not technically safer. I don't think that's. Ooh, this guy has gotten injured a crap ton. That actually might change my opinion. You know, if I didn't have the young quarterback, I probably wouldn't go after. If I didn't have the young quarterback, I would probably go after this guy still. But I have the young quarterback that I'm trying to build around. This guy looks to be riddled with injuries, which is a little bit worrisome. He is already at his max, which admittedly his max is higher than probably anything that I'm going to get from a quarterback throughout the rest of the series. Man, that's hard. The injury thing is really worrisome to me, though. I mean, this guy has not started a full season ever. Took a team to a championship. Right here, though. Because here's the thing, right? That's why I keep going back and forth with myself. If we offer him what he's asking for, our money situation is going to be screwed, and we're going to miss out our opportunity to get somebody like this guard, which a guard is a position that we need. So being able to pull in a guy like this, actually, I say that, I'm actually not a huge fan of these numbers that I'm seeing. Could be way worse. But what's that guy asking for? Yeah, okay. It's fair what he's asking for, but I don't know if I would pay that. All right. Complete change in plans. Because I was not expecting this guy to be available. I'm going to put in an offer. Let's see what we can do here. I think the thing is that I don't want to do a 5-year deal with this guy. Because listen, if this guy's injury situation is as bad as it possibly looks, if I lock into a 5-year deal and he gets like freaking ACL torn first year or something, he could be a complete waste of money. It's the other thing that scares me. You know what? I'm not going for this guy. That could come back to bite me in the butt, but I'm not going for him. I am going to go for this guard. Let's build around to the young talent we got. And you know what? In a couple of years, we'll see that guy in a championship or a playoff game. And we'll prove why we're going to end up getting the ring. Let's see here. We signed the guard and the safety that we were looking at. So those are 2 huge pickups. I think we also signed one of our guards that our coaching staff thought we should, so fine with that. It was not a big deal. It was only $4 million for 2 years. Let's just see real quick. Oh man, look at that. So he was asking for... Oh yeah, I wouldn't have even been able to afford this guy anyway. He was asking for... Now I don't remember, because now he's asking for a little bit less in here. But I think that he was asking for like around a $350 million deal before. That Seattle offered him $412 million, which I would have never been able to offer. So good thing I didn't even bother. Let's see here. We have the money to potentially go in on one more kind of big pick. This actually looks like it could be a pretty good pickup. We don't specifically need a tackle, but you never know when somebody's going to get injured. So, especially with how cheap this guy's going for, let's see if we can sign him. I feel like that will be one additional pick that will help us out. All right, we got it. So now comes the, before we jump into draft mode, we need to potentially trade off 1 or 2 of these players. I'm trying to remember myself here. This is one that I think that we could ship off Bubba, and then I wanted to keep this guy around. Okay, so we can ship off Bubba, and we can also ship off our main guy, Deion Knotts. Let's see if teams are interested in either of them. Let's do Bubba first, just because Knots will probably be a little bit more of a confusing trade. All right, Houston and California are both interested. Let's see what Houston would. Let me remind myself. This guy was a 5th round pick for me. Really good pass rush scouting. So let's see what we might be able to get for this guy. They have a 2nd round 8, which I think there's no way that we get that. We might be able to get a 3rd round off of him, though. We got him at a 5th round, and he's barely played at all. So I feel like even this is me probably asking a little bit too much. Oh, it says we're extremely close. Let's see then. I'll throw in my 6th rounder. Sounds good to me. Now the more interesting one. Dion Knotts. I think a team's going to want this guy. I mean, especially a team that might have lost a veteran quarterback but still has playoff chances. I feel like, oh man. Okay, we have a lot of options here. Buffalo, Tampa. One thing I do want to make sure is I don't want to send this to somebody in my division. So let me just confirm here. We are playing as Denver. So we have Las Vegas, Kansas City, California. Okay, so none of the teams are that interested. I'm just going to go down the list here. So Buffalo is first. Let's see what Buffalo's got. Just interested. Why are they so interested? They have a decent quarterback right there. They might be interested for backup purposes, which means we probably are not. Oh, and they don't have a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. Dion was originally a 4th round pick. I think that I can get more than. I think I can probably get a 2nd for him. I mean, let's just see. Yeah, it's kind of what I expected. I wonder if I could send him. Because getting a 1st round pick would be freaking awesome. Yeah, okay. I'm not really interested in giving up my 2nd rounders, so let's move to the next team and see what we can possibly get. Tampa Bay. Let's see. It seems like, at least so far, both of these teams are viewing him as a clear backup. All right, let's see. I'll then include my 3rd rounder. You're not very close. Okay, so maybe me going for a 2nd is too ambitious. What about a high 3rd, though? I think I need to find a team that actually needs a quarterback. Let's keep going down this list real quick. Whew. Why the hell is that guy's? Oh, he took a. Okay, he did a huge team deal for them. Okay. Well, that means that they're probably not viewing this as a highly needed pick. Okay, maybe I was thinking I could get more for this guy than I really can. And it looks like every team is viewing him as a backup. Here, he might not be a backup. Detroit, he might actually stand a shot at starting. Yep, and then, yeah, okay. So Detroit is his best actual shot at needing a starter. see if we can get our 3rd round pick for him. You're close. Okay. I'll then also give you my 7th rounder. All right, let's see. I'll give him a 5th rounder. Give me back my 7th rounder, though. Really? Come on, that's a really good trade. I don't know what the hell this is now some bullcrap. That's a really good trade. What else do they need? Let's see. They have a really good wide receiver right there. Maybe we can do like a blockbuster trade. Let's see what we can do here. This is this guy, right? Okay, I did just sign a deal. That's not that bad, actually, considering he's a 67. All right, let's see if we can do something like this. And I'm going to add in Dion Knotts. Then I know I'm going to have to give him something a little bit better. So I'll also throw in both of my 3rd round picks and my 7th. Ah, dang it. Okay. Well, we're just running around in circles now, aren't we? Let's go back to Buffalo. Let's see if we can get a team that has a 3rd round and then here. So all that I'm doing here is I'm giving him a quarterback to trade up like 11 spots. In the end, we needed to get rid of him since we are not setting our depth charts. I think there's a good chance that my coaching staff would have continued starting him. We need to get it where Hines is our starter, so it needed to be done. So now we know that. Let's look at the rookie draft here. We have a lot of picks in the first 3 rounds here. We have 5 picks. So, first pick there, I'm hoping to get one of these 3 wide receivers, it looks like. That's what I would really love to get. Just go ahead and interview all of them. Looks promising. Considered overrated, but his bars are still decent. Bars not as good, but he is as scouted. This guy is only 22, which is also... If I could get this guy, that would be incredible. Just in case all 3 of those are gone by pick 11, in order to keep the quarterback safe here, it looks like realistically that guard is probably the top player in the draft. And could always use a guard, but we could target a corner. He's considered overrated, which is not great. That guy was also overrated. other option here is I could trade up for Otis. The question is I don't know. I'm not sure. New Jersey, Indianapolis. Let's just look at their teams real quick. New Jersey Skyrockets. Looks like this team is probably going to go quarterback, is what it looks like. They have this young guy here, but he doesn't look promising. Okay, so probably wouldn't go to New York. Indianapolis is the next one. Indianapolis has a young quarterback. They do have a young wide receiver. Actually, they have two young wide receivers, so they probably won't go him. Albuquerque, Green Bay. It looks like Green Bay would probably, or Albuquerque, will probably go him. Which means I would need to trade up to pick 3, which I don't think is going to happen. Potentially go for one of those 2 quarterbacks. It's interesting with the draft picks looking the way they are here. It does make me question what I should be doing, because I don't feel like with the way that the top of this draft looks, there is not a clear pick of something I need that I'm probably going to be able to get at 11. Game says that I need what? Game says I need QB, wide receiver, corner. Let's see, here's the next wide receiver on the list, considered overrated. Young guy though, he's only 21. It's a little bit of a smaller guy. I'm still going to mark him. I'm not going to go with him at 11, but I'm still going to mark him. Considered very overrated. Okay. Also considered overrated. Okay, let's do this one other way. Let's do it by grade. Yeah, that safety and that guard are both really looking like good options, but not in the range I'm going to be able to land them. Oops, wrong button. Let's go back to Denver here. I already have 2 really good inside linebackers that are young. That's actually decent. He doesn't look like a complete stud, but that looks decent. Here's another young running back, considered very overrated, but his bars look really good. Man. Considered overrated. Then I don't feel like going another tight end is the best option. Man. Not even joking, I do not feel good going into this draft whatsoever. Alright, I feel like we have to interview a wide receiver not near the top. Just so we have somebody that we can go with in a later round that we feel comfortable with. Those are actually some nice bars. I'm overall a fan of those bars. Those are also some nice bars. He's a small guy, though. This guy has a really good dash time, really good strength. Let's interview him. Very overrated. All right. Well, not going to lie, I am not feeling good going into this draft. Now, in case you skipped the first 2 episodes of this season, our first 2 drafts I think actually looked pretty darn good, which is a good thing. But this is definitely a wide open situation here. So I'm going to keep this on normal here for a second, just to see how this goes. New Jersey goes to safety. All right. Indianapolis goes running back. Okay. Albuquerque is the one that I'm assuming is going to be going Otis here. Now they went corner. Okay. Green Bay. There went Otis. Okay. So that's about where I was expecting him to go. I don't think that trading up to that would have made sense. So let's just see. I'm going to keep this on medium for right now, just in case something happens that I'm not expecting. I'll be honest, that guard was considered probably best or second best player in the draft. Did not interview him, which makes this a little bit of a shot in the dark, but he's completely reds across the board in terms of his rankings. It's not a sexy pick, and maybe going Kevin would make more sense here. But his bars are not, I mean, they're all basically at or above 50, but let's just see here. It's Houston's pick. What's Houston looking like they're going to need? Okay. Unless Houston is going for like the most absolutely stacked front line ever, I don't see them going him. So let's go ahead and let this pick go. Okay. Now, next pick here is from Kansas City. We would only be trading up 2 spots at this point, so probably wouldn't be that much that they're asking for. They actually look like they're going to be good on guard too, so let's risk it and let it go. They went quarterback. We got California and Dallas, the last 2 teams before us. California could definitely go him. They do not have a strong guard situation. They have a really good offensive line, not a good guard though. And then Dallas. Dallas has 2 good guards, but probably not as good as the guy. So I think that I need to trade up right now to that pick. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can make this happen here. California. I want their pick 9. I'll give them my pick 11. And I'll throw in my 3-3. Yep, let's do it. Alright, not the sexiest pick ever, but let's go ahead, get ourselves this guard, who will hopefully be with us for the rest of our season here. Let's see. Now 2 picks that are relatively close to one another. Let's do... Man, my scouting was... This draft just did not go my way at all. All of my interviews were basically wasted. Those bars actually look decent. Those bars look really good. Right now I'm really going to be guessing with players around this part of the draft, though. Okay. So we have 2 that I'll probably be able to get my second pick here. Let's see if we can bolster our corner game then. What is my other... In here, there's my guard, by the way. So this is now looking like a really good line coming together. But what I really want to see is a little bit better at man-to-man, a little bit better at zone. Okay. So we have right now kind of a mix, so I don't feel like going one or the other here is that bad. These bars actually look really nice. Mark him. Let's go this guy. Oh man, these 2 wide receivers just went. Not the ones I was looking at though. Yeah, I don't have another pick for about 25 picks, so I should probably get one of these 2. Let's compare. I feel like Wally is the better option here. Yep, that's who I will be going with, Wally. Alright. Edgar's actually still available, so let's go ahead and grab him as well. Alright, now... Okay, as of right now, we're still only seeing the 1 rookie. I need a running back, and I need a corner. Basically, those are the 2 positions I still definitely need some help with. And then, if I can nail 2 here, then late free agency will be easy. I know that running back here, he's kind of an across-the-board guy. He has decent endurance. So realistically, if I could nab maybe somebody like this that could come in on like 3rd down and be a catching back, that would give my other guy time to rest. And this guy's not terrible. Mark him. Very interesting bars actually for this guy. really good blitz pickup, which could also be a good thing to pull in. I don't want to bring in another QB into this situation, actually. I'm going to take this guy. All right, both are available. Let's compare them side by side. Rufus is younger. Mel is probably a little bit of a better size. The 40 times are comparable. Actually, this guy across the board had a little bit of better combine stats. All right, we're going to go Mel here. I think that he's going to be the better option. And then we're on the clock. Rufus is actually still available. He's actually one of the best players remaining. That looks actually like a really nice linebacker. Let's go ahead and just grab him. All right. What's his name? The running back that I just mentioned. Looks like he did not get selected. So we actually should have a shot at him at late free agency here. We don't have much money. Let's see how our draft went. What am I clicking on? There we are. Okay, we nabbed a number of guys that are all supposed to be around that 50. Both wide receivers are actually supposed to be around a 50, which not great, but I'll be okay with it. Now, big red flag here. He's holding out on us. It's like a Le'Veon Bell situation, it seems. Okay, you know what? Here's my view on it. He's a fan favorite. His bars look outstanding. He was second overall pick like 2 years before we took the team over. Even though his numbers don't exactly prove it, last year he did deal with a knee injury and then a serious ankle injury. In the 113 attempts he did have, he averaged 4.7. If we can afford him, let's do it. All right. Did open up a little bit of money for us as well. We're basically free to pick. So let's do just that. Let's go look at these free agents. This guy with the ACL. Now, I will say he's not asking for much. So if he could come back from this ACL. Okay, no, he's had a hell of a lot of injuries. Never mind. Let's go ahead and... Our kicker hadn't done well, so let's go ahead and bring in some kicker competition. There's a nose tackle. We should bring in one just to alleviate some of the work from our main guy. Middle linebacker. That looks promising. I always think if I can bring in a talent, even to later trade them for like a 5th round pick or something, it would definitely be worth it. Let's see. We could pull in another tight end, which honestly might actually be worth it. Here's a guy that his stats up here don't show it, but his bars for receiving are actually really good. Let's go ahead and actually see if we can nab this guy. I'm going to see if I can do a 2-year deal, though. Let's see here, $4 million. See if I'll sign that. Let's see if we have any wide receivers here that are worth a crap. Might be worth it for me to bring in another veteran just to have it. Alright, let's see if any of these guys will sign. We got the nose tackle, we got the middle linebacker. We got the veteran wide receiver. And we got the tight end and the kicker. Alright. We don't have much money, but I think we're going to be okay going into this. Now, what's his name? Okay, Bart Hines. Still progressing ridiculously slowly for some reason. Is right now only a 29 after training camp. We're running in preseason with him though. So let's see what comes of this. The thing I will say is I feel like he has a very good team surrounding him, and he did get upgraded to a better future estimate, which is a good sign. Let's see, sprained knee, he'll be back. Separated shoulder, he'll be back. Okay. Alright. I feel like this is a well-rounded team. Receiving is still questionable at best, but actually, where the hell is the running back? He got downgraded quite a bit, but still at 57, so let's roll with it. Week 1. We got beaten. We got beaten badly. We beat Tennessee. We'll go ahead and simulate 1 more hour weeks. Let's see here. Coming up against Albuquerque here. We beat them. Alright, so we're 2-2. Let's take a quick look at how this is actually looking. What am I looking for? What am I looking for? Team summary. There we go. Alright. Hines through 4 games is not looking the best, but you know what? I think he looks decent. Running game is struggling. Rose is actually not the one taking the majority of the attack here. Clifton Lake. I think that our coaching staff brought this guy in, which is interesting. Okay. All right. I mean, right now, the one thing I will say is that our defense seems to be holding up. We don't have a ton of sacks, so we only have 2 basically on the season. But we're number 1 at yards per attempt for passing, which is awesome. A quick look here. Yeah, I guess our safeties are kind of holding it down. And then I guess our pass rush might be getting there quick enough. All right. Come on, Hines. Let's see what you got, man. All right, we lost to Pittsburgh. We beat Baltimore. Now, as a quick note, even as I think it was one of the Reddit comments said, like, I'm not expecting to do well this year. This is mainly a year to allow Bart Hines to grow, and it looks like he got injured. Hyperextended elbow. All right, which means we're probably definitely losing the next week or 2. Unless our boy Mo Rose will step up and put up some crazy ass numbers. All right, let's keep it rolling. I don't think it's going to be worth doing any kind of mid-season trades here. All right, we beat that team. We beat Cincinnati. Kansas City beat us. All right. We beat Las Vegas. We held them to 9 points. That's always a good sign. We beat Austin. We beat Miami. Now, right now we're sitting at 8-4. As a quick note, if you skipped last episode we went 8-8. So let's do the ever-telling. Where is that stupid thing that always screws me? Where is it? Playoff probabilities. Let's go. All right. Right now it says that there's a 95% chance that we make playoffs. Now, in case you didn't watch the first 20 episodes for my season 1, basically every single time I ran this thing, it ended up screwing me. Like, it would say that I had a 95% chance. I don't think it ever said that high, but it would basically always do the opposite of what we were expecting. If you watch the first 20 episodes, you'll also know that happened a lot when I was talking too. Like, I would say something and then the game would do the polar opposite. But it's looking good for us. I'll just leave it at that. Let's keep these things rolling here. Going up against Tampa Bay here. We beat Tampa Bay. Going up against California. We lost to California. Also, as a quick note, if this is like your first episode ever watching this, the teams do move. And we simulated like 50 years before starting. So that explains why there's one called like California, and there's an Albuquerque team and things like that. Now, we lost the past 2 weeks. What is going on? This is playoff probability. All right, it still seems like we got this. Based on the fact that we're at 94%, this must mean that some craziness has to happen where, like, so basically, it's probably if we win, we're automatically in. If we lose, then it boils down to what the hell happens with all these teams. It's basically what that probably means. So wait, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, they're all playing for the one. Indianapolis is playing for... Yeah, so what's happening here is it must be Indianapolis and I look like we're going to make it in, and then if some weird crap happens and Tennessee wins, then they beat me out. That's what it looks like. So let's see how that pans out. We did lose, which means that there is a chance that we did not make playoffs here. It's also never good to lose 3 games going into playoffs, but playoffs are a new slate. We'll see how it goes if we actually made it in. All right, we did make it in. All right. We lost to Kansas City, I'm pretty sure, during the season. Let's take a quick look at how this team summary ended for the full season. All right. Hines, not great. Put up 3,000 yards, 16 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. Is what it is. It's really weird. I don't know why M. Rose is not the main starting running back. Our coaching staff must have something against him. So that is interesting. Why does it say I guess, did Hines fumble a crap ton or something? Rushing. I'm actually not sure where fumbles. So he did fumble 7 times, which honestly isn't that bad for a quarterback. This dude fumble a lot? He fumbled 3 times. I'm trying to figure out this. It says our team fumbled 33 times, which is absolutely nuts. But alright, is what it is. I will say our receiving is very equally spread, which is a good thing as far as I am going to be able to tell. They're both the more experienced guys. Nope. Okay, so neither of the wide receivers we picked finished on this board, which I'm not 100% sure what needs to be done to be on this board. It's probably like top 200 player in a position or something. So not super surprising, especially since they were not thrust into the spotlight this year. Let's do this thing. Just a quick reminder, in case you skipped the first season. I don't play this where I do play calling, but during playoffs, I do watch it in this mode and slow it down at the end of the game if it's worth it. So far, we are looking at a pretty low-scoring game. We're in the third quarter. It's still 7-3. We marched the ball down, got a field goal. We have 2 field goals. All right, let's see. We are now down to 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Their ball. They have to march the field. Let's slow it down a little bit here. Wait, kick. I guess they just punt it. Okay. Well, let's just run this in for a first down. Goes for 7 yards. Awesome. That's a first down. That's huge. Because they're now also out of timeouts. All right. Ooh, I don't like that we had to punt there. Okay, they had 1 minute to drive the field. No timeouts. Spike the ball. They're at 35 seconds. Okay. 4th down. Oh, cheesy Louisies. Oh, but that's the end of the game. Whew. Man. I was sitting here just reading this to myself. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. He's off and running. Jeez. All right. So Denver, Hines played a decent game. Lake led our rushing game again. I mean, none of those stats are crazy, but you know what? That's what happens when you win the game 13-6 and make it to the second round of the playoffs. Let's go. We're now up against Jacksonville, who's the team that we played as. Granted, it was a completely different roster and stuff, but We played as Jacksonville in season 1. So, let's see. Right at halftime, we are looking at a 10-7 game. They are driving right now. And they get a touchdown. All right. Our team definitely needs a big... Oop, we're now down 3 scores. That is it for us this season. All right. Well, you know what? I will say, I think in the first season, I think we only won 1 playoff game. So we've already tied that. We made playoffs a bunch, but we never made it far into the playoffs in the first season of everything. So Atlanta, it was Atlanta that just took that, right? I didn't even look. Let's take a look at a few things here. So let's take a look at that team summary one more time. So yards per carry, we were last in the league, which is interesting, mainly because, one, we were supposed to have one of probably the best offensive lines, and 2, we signed Rose, who did better on average than Lake. So I'm not 100% sure what the hell was going on with this, but our coaching staff really pushed for Lake, which made Rose never see that, amount of volume that he probably would have needed. He did actually, I didn't even notice this, he did have 32 catches and 52 targets, so maybe he ended up being more of a receiving back for us, but still, those rushing numbers are horrendous based on what we had. Our passing game ended up being kind of middle of the road. What really kept us in here was our defense. And believe it or not, it was mainly our passing. Well, actually, our rushing defense did well too, but mainly that passing defense that was, based on these stats, I would say easily a top 5 in the league. So, very interesting. Looking at this outside linebacker might be on the all-star team. Maybe this defensive tackle, but I don't see any of our offense making it. Maybe our kicker, punter might have. Let's take a quick look. Season awards. Defensive tackle did make first team, so congratulations to Max Peckham. Good guy that we will want to potentially keep around. And that was it, actually. All right. He was actually second team last year, so that's a very good sign for him. He was second team the year before. It's definitely a guy that I want to build around. With that, thank you guys for sticking it out with me for another episode. I will see you guys for the next season, and let's keep this thing running. Till then, AyyScare out.